Autodesk Photoscene Editor plays an important part in the rapid energy modelling process, especially with existing buildings where no documentation is available. Here we've taken photographs of the Autodesk Farnborough building, and we've done about 70 around the entire building. We've done that also with a wide angle lens, and it's very important, even when you can get the whole building within a photo, that you do make sure you've got plenty around the entire perimeter with lots of overlap. Here, once this is loaded into Photoscene Editor, you'll see that a mesh has been generated. Now the mesh, for the purposes of rapid energy modelling, is really only going to help you understand how well the automatic stitching has taken place. So for example, if you're seeing holes within the mesh around the perimeter of the building, it means that you probably want to look at restitching some of the photographs. You can reduce the size of the mesh by using the lasso tool and simply hitting the delete key just to get rid of what we would call artifacts, which may be caused by, for example, the sky. Now with that, what we can do is just turn off the mesh now, as we don't need it, and I'm just going to select one of the photographs of the building. And what we will do here is really enable photo lock. So you'll see that the cameras have been placed around the entire building. The software has calculated where it believes the camera should be. If you see some that are out of place from where you believe they should be, again, take a look at the stitching. Okay, so now what we want to do is really use these photographs to help create a three-dimensional space. This is ultimately going to help us create the energy analysis model. And there are two strategies we can employ when looking at a building. The first is to trace vertically up and down each face of the building. The second is to trace around the plan of the building, and that would be my preference for this particular building type. With the plan traced, what we can then do is extrude it within the Revit environment. So to start doing that, what we would do is first create reference points. So I've just enabled the reference point tool here. I can click inside the photograph and then place the reference point. You'll see that as I move around other photographs, the software has tried to place reference points in exactly the same place, so it's identifying common points, and you can move those if they're not quite right, or you just want to get them extremely accurately on there. So just step around and just start to add more reference points. It's also important that you look at really placing a point in a view that's oblique to the one that you created originally. Just helps with the software defining the three-dimensional space. It becomes very important when you're trying to really get an accurate tracing off of the building. So we've created some points there. We could do many more. I could then go in and start to create a second point. So the idea being is that we trace around the perimeter of the building, and then we use the tools available to actually create a plan view by just joining up the different reference points. So as you can see there, I can step around the building and look for those common points. Very easy for me to do that. With those created, the next step would be to join them together.